All right, y'all. Today we're taking a look at this boudoir photography business. Gonna check out its local search, check out its city search, see if it's got BSS for any of them. And we're back here in the GBC universe where we're taking declining boudoir photographers to the #1 boudoir photographer in their city. As always, our North Star here is FSIC, full spectrum intent capture. More on that pinned post, home video, pinned video, somewhere around here. And that's because FSIC explains why all boudoir photographers either rise or fall. So we got our FSIC graph here in white. Highest intent peeps on the left. These are peeps searching for both boudoir photo shoot in their city today. I focus on them and make videos about actually getting them to come to us. Here, videos about BSS. Over on the right, there's the lowest intent peeps. We talk about getting these peeps to come to us on our sister brand or sister channel, Boudoir FB Ad Doctor, where we talk about BLCS. And currently, over there, we only work with boudoir photographers running more than 10 grand per month in boudoir Facebook ads. So BSS, boudoir search sameness. That's when a boudoir photographer has either 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google. Both are bad. 0, extra bad. If we got 0 slots page 1, that means we're page 2 or deeper. And we know approximately 80% of Google searches never even hit page 2. So if we end on page 1, we're visible to approximately 80% of searchers, approximately 80% of buyers, approximately 80% of the market, so the bulk of the market. Bad, extra bad. Also, 1 slot page 1, that ain't good enough anymore. That's bad as well, because guess what? There's 9 other organic slots page 1. It's probably going to be 9 other boudoir photographers there. So everyone's got 1 slot. We're looking the same as everyone else. Not standing out, not looking special. So a boudoir buyer, what they're going to do is they're just going to click down, open everyone's website, opens everyone's website up and, literally get a quote, fill out everyone's contact form, get a quote from everyone, price shop, price compare, negotiate, waste everyone's time, blah, blah, blah. And, only 10% of the time we're going to get that person to buy from us. So that other 90% of the time we're wasting it. And 0-1 slots on page 1 Google is actually not normal. It's not normal to have such a small few number of page 1 links on Google search. But it is accepted and it is, commonplace, but it's not normal. It's actually a symptom of 2 deeper root causes. And I know this is normal because I went from 0 out of 10 slots page 1 on Google search to 9 out of 10 slots page 1 on Google search in only 10 days utilizing this new methodology we developed. Now, these 2 deeper root causes here are 1, market saturation, 2, the false belief of page 1 equality. Market saturation, basically everyone knows about that. Over time, people get kind of new devices, new gear, new iPhone, new camera, and eventually people throw up their Google My Business profile, saying that they now shoot boudoir, or they throw up their, website saying they now are a boudoir photographer, or they're posting them on Facebook groups that they now offer boudoir photo shoots. So it's more boudoir photographers competing for the same number of buyers makes it harder for every single boudoir photographer. Now, the false belief of page 1 equality, this is new to most people. Very, very, it used to be very common to accept this. Very common to accept that, every boudoir photographer is, gets 0-1 slots page 1 on Google, and either you get it or you don't, and it's not much you can do about it. And even if you had 1 slot on page 1 on Google, well, maybe there's some market saturation, and that slot, that slot goes away, or then you go down to page 2. Well, you got to kind of hope those people leave the market, and then hope Google puts you back on page 1. So it's kind of like a learned helplessness belief, but it's not true. We've learned it's not true because, again, I went from 0 out of 10 slots page 1 Google search to 9 out of 10 slots page 1 on Google search in only 10 days. So we know the false belief page 1 equality. Now we know that it is exactly that, a false belief. We also know that boudoir photographer with BSS is a disappearing boudoir photographer, DBP. And yeah, dude, if we're on page 2 or deeper, we're invisible to approximately 80% of the marketplace. If we're on page, and if we're on page 1, everyone else has got 1 slot on, all the other 9 competitors got 1 slot as well. So we're essentially invisible as well. So if we're on page 2 or deeper, we're dying fast. If we're on page 1 with 1 slot, we're dying slow. But both cases, we're disappearing boudoir photographer, which actually is kind of like the warning light, the red flag, the canary in the coal mine that tells us our boudoir photography business itself is actually on the path to disappearing. It's now starting down that path. Thankfully, we have discovered a solution though. We've discovered that BSS is treated with social search saturation, aka S cubed methodology. And it works exactly as it says. We saturate social search with the highest intent boudoir buyer keywords, making sure that we show up there. And what this acts like is basically like the snow at the top of the Andes Mountains. The eastern side, the backside of these Andes Mountains down in South America. The snow up there, what it does is it, all year it's melting into streams, melting, the streams, small streams, it's flowing to small rivers, but it all eventually comes to be collected in the Amazon River. That's where all the water actually comes from. And that page one of Google search is the Amazon River, but we got to first stuff, you know, SQ methodology. We got to first saturate, do social search saturation, put the snow up there at the top of the mountain, so then it can, all those videos, links can flow onto page one of Google search. And this is the only solution I've seen for boudoir photographers that can actually enable them to grow during periods where the market's getting more and more saturated every day, and give them that opportunity in a relatively quick time frame. The only other solution I've seen a lot of people to do that is having a large, well-known brand, but that takes on average, 5 to 10 years. We ain't got 5 to 10 years anymore, dude. AI is here. We need results. We need a opportunity ASAP. And actually, interestingly enough, SQ methodology, by my estimates, can actually help those actually build a large, well-known brand approximately 8x faster than all these other kind of standard ways of doing it, just because we're doing more volume on more surfaces and showing up in the right places way more often over time. It's kind of like a double bonus of utilizing SQ methodology. So example now. All right, so we are right now going to, let's say, we're going to Boise, Idaho. And there are 1 million boudoir photographers in Boise, Idaho. We're one of them. Everyone's got a website saying they do boudoir photography. And as a result, everyone's website's trying to rank page one on Google as much as possible. Ultra competitive. We're like, man, we ain't got no large, well-known brand. Literally the only thing left that allows us to compete effectively is SQ methodology. So we decided to crank it to the max, like way more than average boudoir photographer would. And let's say we're taking up the first, 300 slots of social search across all the social platforms, and then that flows onto Google search. And let's say we're taking up the first 300 organic slots on Google. Well, it's 10 organic slots, per page on Google. So we're literally taking basically the first 30 pages of Google. So whenever a boudoir buyer searches for us anywhere digitally, we basically got like the first 300 slots to ourselves. So we are, basically like, we're basically the only one they can find, whether they're searching social media, they're searching Google, basically the only one they can find. So in this case, they'd have to, scroll to slot 301, or would that be on Google page 31 to find us? And so in this case, whose business is growing? Whose boudoir photography business is growing? Most likely only ours, because we're basically the only one that can be found by buyers. And whose boudoir photography businesses are dying, disappearing, going invisible? Well, most likely the other 999,999 boudoir photographers competing against us in Boise, Idaho. And so this is, kind of an ultra example of what SQ methodology, kind of the opportunity it could give to a boudoir photography business, but this is like an ultra extreme version, ultra extreme example version. Now, once you're with SQ methodology, we have page one visibility. So yeah, we're getting more links page one Google search. And the second initial benefit we're getting is every new link we get on page one Google search, good for us. And we're actually kicking a competing boudoir photographer off page one, effectively making them invisible. This is awesome. So we can literally control how many of our competitors are on page one of Google search are not organic by our effort in acquiring these organic Google slots. And it's good because these slots have some momentum, not infinite momentum, but they do have some momentum. Unlike Google PPC ads or any ads, that momentum goes to zero the instant you stop paying for them. And let's see. Yeah, so a lot of boudoir photographers like this. They're really kick their competitors off. And page one visibility activates boudoir search visibility for us, BSV. This is where the GBC universe recommends hitting a minimum or having a minimum of 3 out of 10 slots page one Google search as the minimum. More is obviously better. But that's because basically every other boudoir photographer is going to have one slot each on page one. So if we got 3, we're dominating. Everyone else has got 1. We're actually standing out, actually looking unique. And the super rare train, someone has 2. Well, we still got 3, so we're dominating them as well. So we're basically dominating in all scenarios here. We also know that boudoir photographer with BSV is a visible boudoir photographer, a VBP. So this is our micro universe here. A disappearing boudoir photographer with BSS boudoir search sameness is caused by the dual horns of market saturation and the false belief of page one equality. Thankfully, we now have a solution, thank the universe, SQ'd methodology. We use that to achieve page one visibility, become a visible boudoir photographer, and have boudoir search visibility. All right, so now my results utilize an SQ methodology. So I actually wanted to rank for this keyword, well, I want to dominate page one for this keyword, BLCS boudoir. So I went to work purely utilizing SQ methodology and see my results. We're going down the organic slots. So organic slot 1, Instagram, me. Slot 2, me. Slot 3, me. Slot 4, me. Slot 5, me. Slot 6, me. Slot 7, me. Slot 8, me. Slot 10, me. And so I went from 0 to 10 slots, Google page one, to 9 out of 10 slots, Google page one search in only 10 days, purely utilizing SQ'd methodology. All right, now to the main event here. We're going to check out this boudoir photography business. Going to see if their local search or city search, if they got BSS going on, yes or no. All right, so it looks like we're going to West Side, Illinois, Lower West Side, Illinois. Small zone of Chicago here. All right, let's see what we got. All right, still hunting. All right, so we're 0 out of 10 local. Let's see for the city though. City's harder to rank for, but let's see what we got. Let's see. All right, boom, we got one. All right, so here's what we got. We got 0 out of 10 local, 1 out of 10 city. So we got BSS for both, boudoir search sameness for both, 0 out of 10 slots page one Google search. And we did not meet the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 slots for either of these two searches. So if you're a disappearing boudoir photographer, meaning you've already went and done local search, your city search for the highest intent boudoir buyer keywords in your city, and you got either 0 or 1 slots page one on Google, or you have now met the minimum GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 slots page one on Google, and you understand the false belief of page one equality now is exactly that, a false belief. It's made up, it's not true. No need to auto believe it. You're seeing that Google will actually give us as many page one slots as we want to take, as we want to put in the effort to take. And you're seeing, okay, SQ methodology is the only solution forward, and it is the best solution for me. You've been waiting for something like this, because with Google PPC ads, at most you're getting one extra position, even if they got 4 or 5 slots available. And the momentum for those dies once you stop paying for the ads. But with SQ methodology, there is momentum with it. Not permanent, but there is way more momentum with it. With not infinite momentum, but there's way more momentum than momentum going to 0 when you stop spending on ads. You can take way more slots page one on Google. So they get all these initial benefits. New basically new more page one slots. Kicking, you actually really like kicking competing boudoir photographers off page one, relegating them to the dustbin of page 2 or deeper, making them disappear in boudoir photographers and eventually their entire business disappear. And you understand the market saturation stuff. Over time, people get new gear, become boudoir photographers, and but you're looking ahead and you're seeing, man, AI is taking people's jobs right now, and it's only going to take more and more people's jobs into the future. And as a result, you are you're seeing, wow, way more boudoir photographers going to be entering the market in the future than any time in the past. There's way more people going to be losing their jobs compared to COVID. And you're basically you realize you got to fortify your position on page one. You got to have backup links to your current page one links that are dominating as many slots as possible on page one, then backup links to those backup links. So you're backed up all the way to page 2, 3, and 4 with all your links. Basically guarantee current boudoir photographers can never rank page one, nor any future boudoir photographers of peeps lost their jobs due to AI can rank on page one. And you're realizing, you got to fortify, kind of like fortifying the levees in Nolens, Louisiana, because that city is underneath, below sea level. So you got to fortify it from the ocean. So you're realizing you got to fortify it, and you're seeing, okay, the only solution that can do that as well is still SQ'd methodology. And you want to achieve page one visibility to become a visible boudoir photographer with boudoir search visibility. And you want all these things because you are, you need them on your way to becoming the #1 boudoir photographer in your city. And you're also understanding the real back-end stuff, and you're liking the future benefits of utilizing SQ methodology now, which we have not talked about yet. But basically, every single day we execute SQ methodology, we're building up these invisible thematic keyword columns around our business, kind of like plugged into our business, like the columns of the Parthenon in Athens, Greece, or the columns, or like hub and spoke of the center of a bicycle tire. And with all these invisible thematic keyword columns, it actually builds up AI mindshare in the back end. So every single day we successfully execute SQ methodology, we increase the probability of being shown here, AI overview. Premium, dude, super premium placement, cannot buy this placement with ads, and it is 100% organic. It would be the only one served there, basically the only one found there. And we'd be having those slots for ourselves. So once you're seeing that, you are saying, oh yeah, you want that feature benefit as well. And you actually want the other feature benefit, which is we're increasing the probability AI search actually recommends us with the standard AI search apps like ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, Microsoft Copilot, Google Gemini. And you know that everyday successfully executing these things, higher chance to get shown up in AI search, which you want because way more peeps utilizing AI search every single day. I know last time I searched for boudoir photographer in a city, I looked for a few. And I did with ChatGPT, and dude, it recommended me 3 in the ChatGPT search. And when I went to search on Google or Facebook, like manually, dude, there's like 60. I was like, dude, we got to find a way to get in this AI search, and SQ methodology can provide that. Also, like the benefit of estimated benefit of creating a known brand approximately 8x faster than any other strategy, because we're on so many more surfaces with such a higher frequency than everyone else. And you also like in that you can get all these benefits, and you understand that my current plan is to only work with one boudoir photographer per city. So you decide to become a first mover in your city to kind of lock yourself into use it, prevent all your other boudoir photographer competitors in your city from using it, and kind of build up, get all these benefits, get all the links on page one, kick out your competitors page one, get the back-end AI mindshare going, build up such a massive gap between you and all your current competitors and any future competitors coming from losing their job due to AI that will be entering the market as boudoir photographers, that you can, basically the gap will be so large, essentially nobody can ever catch you. And conversely, on the flip side, you understand that if one of your boudoir photographer competitors signs on with me first, then they're getting all those benefits. You're getting kicked off page one. You may even kicked off page 2. Maybe we can kick you off page 3 or 4. And your competitors taking all those links, all those slots. You are actually, and your competitor, me and your competitor, are building that AI mindshare on the back end. They're building their brand approximately 8x faster than any other strategy out there. Higher chance they're getting shown AI overview, higher chance getting shown AI search, being way more known, and freezing you out. And for you to compete, you'd actually rederive successfully SQ methodology. And I mean, you've never derived it in the first place, so how could you ever be 100% confident you've derived it correctly? And then you'd have to equal our execution every single day. But if you did that, you'd simply maintain the gap, meaning your competitor would have already gained on you. And you'd actually have to, 2 to 3x our output every single day in order to close that gap. But you're not even 100% confident you've derived the strategy correctly, so you don't even want to do the 2 to 3x effort every single day because you don't even know if you're putting the effort in the right way. And also, who's got the 80 hours to do that much work every single day? So after hearing all that, you decide to be the first mover advantage, first mover. Just don't want to miss out on this opportunity. So if that's you, shoot me a DM. My DMs are currently closed. The hospital is currently closed to new patients, but when the hospital does open to new patients, shoot us a DM, and we will see if you qualify for utilizing our S cubed methodology.